All right. Good morning. So, yeah, I had to pull this apart and get the red wire out of the middle of this modified servo lead that they used for the ignition contacts on the Enjomor. And now, because the governor and camshaft are just loose on the engine, they fell off while I was rotating it. So I'm going to have to pop the flywheel off again. I already loosened the bolts here and get the valve open to gently pry this double wedge until we get a pop out of it. There we go. There's the pop, and now it's loose. Alright, I get the weights, and the washers came off with the weights, so that's nice. I'll just wipe that off a little bit so it's not quite as oily while I'm trying to get it in place. So, there's top dead center, and let's see here. Let's try pull that out of the way. There we go. Okay, now that's an ignition stroke, and then it's not opening until down there. Okay. Alright. Let's pull the gear off. Alright. Now closes. Alright. Intake. Alright, there's top dead center. Okay, and then at bottom it just starts to open, exhaust valve open, and then at top it starts to close. I'll move that one tooth. There we go. Alright. Intake. Compression. Alright, and then bottom. There we go. And top, it closes. Perfect. I think that's the spot for it. For timing, now let's see here. For reference, let's see, these pins are level when the crank pin is in the bottom of the frame, it looks like. So there's top. There's bottom. Yeah, it's the pins on the shaft or on here are horizontal when that's on the bottom, or it looks like if you take this to the top here, they'll be vertical. Yeah, and bottom and top dead center. So bottom and top dead center, it's on an angle, but there we go. If you get your knuckle at the very top vertically, those pins are vertical, it looks like. So before I go putting any more on the side of the engine, I need to get this back through. So set all the tiny parts, actually sweep all that over here off camera so that I can work on this. Because I have the reed valve out, which is tinier than the plug. I'm going to just hook that up and through. Oh, I didn't mention, so I was going to wrap this in electrical tape, but, whoa. But that was going to be too thick and stiff, so instead I just wrapped the two wires together with some thread, sewing thread. There. Okay. So now this is out here, and I can take and put the try to remember which way this all goes. So it goes in like that and up like that. Okay. So that's that, and then the other part is that the wires have to go bend and go into this channel on the back there. So now go. There. And there. Put these two mounting screws in. Open this, pull that extra wire back in there. Okay, now, oh no, I forgot to put this shim washer in there. So let's put that so these pins are horizontal. Pull the gear off. Put the shim washer back on. And because that shim washer is also a small bearing surface between the brass pieces, so you don't want to forget that, because then you can get some extra wear. Now, put the governor back on, and I know I've said a lot, but I think the biggest change I made that really helped this governor work was these washers. Those are just M3 because I had them around, but whatever you've got, that's going to be a very tiny washer to keep the weights from being flush against the gear there, because all that surface area between the cam and gear and the weights gives surface tension to the oil and makes those weights a little harder to move. And now and then this is the very soft spring that I found that I think is going to work for this. It replaced the original spring I found, or that was in here, and then again I super glued a washer to the end of the pawl here, so that it's a steel on steel latch with the push rod instead of brass on steel, because I did notice that that brass pawl is already wearing. And I need to find there. So to find my little piece of strip of paper that I was using. Alright. There it is. So, the secret I have to getting this spring in place, and this is going to be a challenge, is to put push the spring into that pawl, and then get this piece of paper, strip of paper over the top of it. Oh, come on. Alright, I can't do this leaning over to try and hold it on camera, so. Or I could fire it across the room. I think I spy it. There we go. Alright. Oh, and before I get that far, I need to take these two screws out so I can put that on. Otherwise, I'll have to do this again with the spring, because these two screws are in the way of that arm getting in place. So I suspect that when these are assembled, they try to have the arm on this pin when that bracket gets put on, but I don't think I could get the wires from here behind there with the arm in place and the spring in place, so All right. Let's try. There it is. Okay, so spring in place under this bit of paper. The arm just pops right on there, and then we just slip the piece of paper out from behind there, and I got a little bit of a, because that spring is so soft, it's kind of worked its way off to the side a little bit, so I'm going to just take a toothpick and straighten it out in there. And now that spring is doing okay there. And I think this will work, because remember, I got this to start and it ran just a little bit before the red wire started arcing, because for some reason that red wire is connected to high tension, which I don't know, but it's cut off of there now, and so hopefully with that red wire off and disconnected, we will be able to. Alright, and this arm is in place, so it's holding that whole assembly together. So when I tip this up, it won't fall off. And I'm gonna connect up our ignition switch and connect up our batteries. And check the timing here. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's not sparking until back here. Okay. That reed switch must have gotten bent at some point. So, because we got intake, compression, spark, and power, and exhaust. Yeah. Alright, well. Okay, that's not closing until it gets around there. I must have got it one tooth off when I put it back to put that washer behind it. Alright. Well, that'll be exciting. Alright, I'm gonna pull this apart and retime it off camera. And then hopefully that'll put the spark back where it belongs. If not, I will do a different video about getting that reed switch readjusted.